From absolutely trash players all the way up to NFL GOATs. These are the 5 levels of NFL players. Level 1s are literally trash cans, aka the absolute worst players the NFL's ever seen, man. Because even though some of the worst plays imaginable like these rarely happen, there's players who constantly do level 1 worthy things. One of them is Will Levis, whose entire career got clowned all over the internet. I mean, there's a reason he carried his team to 3-14, the worst record in the NFL. So his team got the #1 pick and instantly replaced him. Because he'd not only run the wrong direction, constantly overthrow open teammates, and throw some of the worst interceptions ever, Will's even made a few more ridiculous plays that had everyone laughing at him online. But here at level 1 also has another player that set one of the most embarrassing NFL records ever, man. Look, Brett Maher has missed a few field goals here and there, but nobody expected him to miss not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 of the easiest extra point attempts in the same game, which not only made his teammates pissed, it had him set the NFL record for most missed extra points in a playoff game ever. And to make things worse, he immediately signed with another team for a fresh start and still kept missing kicks. So, dude's plays weren't just level 1s, he's literally buns. But lastly at level 1 is this ugly ass dude, Kadarius Toney. This dude is so ass that his level 1 football skills eventually made him quit the sport entirely to become a rapper. That's also level 1. Listen, there's not a single person on earth that could have predicted that when he was a top draft pick and the man was destined to become the next Odell Beckham. Until man's career literally started with him having only 4 catches in his first 3 games and not scoring a single touchdown the entire season. Now listen, that man's got traded to the Chiefs and tried changing his whole identity with a new jersey number to escape the embarrassment. But fans just clowned him for having his Giants jersey number still tatted on his back. Now the spotlight had Kadarius play worse than ever by constantly dropping passes, like some that even made Mahomes look bad. He was also zoned out and offside, which ruined one of the greatest plays in history. So not only did the Chiefs eventually release him, he signed with the shit stains where he fumbled a punt in his first game and got cut by them too. All that is why Kadarius, or should I say, Young Joka, is now a rapper and acts like his life is Lil Baby's, even though he gets no views. Rapping, capping, and no more football snapping is why he's the lowest of levels, man. So let's just compare him and everybody else so far to level 2, where players are at least a little better than that and end up in the category of okay. Here in this level is some players you might at least see some fans wearing jerseys of. And first is whatever, you know who I'm referring to, man. Because there's some days where he can actually throw the ball like he's supposed to and even lead his team to 50-point victories. But then there's other days that it seems like dude completely forgets how to play and gets gangbanged. No, literally, dude be on the ground accidentally throwing up gang signs because he got hit so hard. But even though Najee Harris was slightly better, his career eventually got ruined by a firework explosion. Najee was one of the best players on the Steelers for a while, where he'd stiff-arm people into the ground and even jump over grown men for touchdowns. But after he signed with a new team, Najee was just celebrating the 4th of July when a firework explosion hit Najee in the face and made it so that he couldn't even open his left eye. Now not being able to see correctly is why he not only just runs into the back of his lineman on accident, just 3 games into the new season, it caused him to already suffer a season-ending Achilles injury, so who knows if he'll ever be fully healthy again or play the way that he used to. Man, I kinda feel bad for him, but there's also Kyle Pitts who, even though he only belongs in this level, always has some of the craziest superfans acting delusional on X. Pitts was absolutely hyped up because he became the highest drafted tight end ever and had one of the most promising rookie seasons in years. This had fans gassing him up and even calling him the GOAT. But ever since that hype, his numbers dropped like crazy because all this man does is play like some complete ass. So nowadays, all people are saying is that he sucks. Now, Pitts getting worse over time is actually the complete opposite of why Sam Darnold belongs in this level. His career started off damn near below everybody else, because the first pass of his career turned into a pick 6. Then another game, he also had a terrible 4 interceptions and was caught mic'd up saying he was seeing ghosts on the field.
Seeing ghosts.
Like, what the hell? Those performances eventually had him bouncing around to a few different teams, but even though it seemed like he was a permanent low level, once he got to the Vikings, he started completely resurrecting his career by magically going off and even leading them to one of the NFL's best records. So not only could I see why he eventually got rewarded with a contract worth $100 million, man's definitely leveled up and could eventually end up even higher with the players in the good, great, or even GOAT levels coming up. So with that being said, it's time we take things to a whole new level of NFL players. Because here at level 3, every single player you're about to see actually does things that are crazy. From DeAndre Hopkins, who's made some of the best catches ever and is about to be top 15 in receptions all time, to Michael Thomas, who made plays like this while having crazy years with the Saints. There was even one season where he averaged over 100 yards per game, which won him the Offensive Player of the Year award.
The brother is an elite route runner, he's got great hands, and there's simply nothing you can do about it.
But considering how great the receivers are in the higher levels, don't come at me in the comments for also putting young stars in here like the Diamond Boys, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. Listen, starting with JJ, he's already pulled off some of the craziest plays any receiver can make. His performances during games have gotten him 99 overall in Madden multiple times. His list of accolades are long as hell. He's become a top-ranked player in the league for years in a row, and he even became a face of a documentary about receivers on Netflix. So yeah, Mance is definitely good and on his way to an even higher level, but he's got to accomplish a little bit more, just like his former college teammate and now NFL star, Jamar. Jamar Chase literally broke Bengals records immediately, man. He had their most receiving yards in a season during his rookie year with over 1,400. He had the best game of his life where he went off for 266 yards against the Chiefs. And Jamar even became the youngest player in over 50 years to win the Triple Crown, which I didn't even know existed, where it meant that he led the entire league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. But listen, there's even things that he can't do that came from Alvin Kamara. Listen, I could sit here all day showing you Kamara highlights because, he's a beast, but I've never seen a player ever do what he did on Christmas. He literally ho-ho-ho'd his opponents by getting his first, second, and third touchdowns in the first half. Then he got his fourth, fifth, and sixth in the second half to tie the record for most rushing touchdowns in a single game. Mance was so out of control that the cleats he wore during it were considered against the rules and the NFL banned them. Now, that is crazy. But if you hadn't noticed yet, no player in this level so far has become a champion by winning a Super Bowl. So that's why even a few more players here can't compete with the greats coming up later. For quarterbacks like Justin Herbert, even though Mance makes throws like this, sometimes runs through teams for touchdowns, got rewarded with a $200 million deal, and even dates one of the baddest girls I've ever seen. Oh my God! Oh, my bad. He's still not done enough to be an all-time great. Same with Joe Burrow. He's also been hyped up, made incredible plays, threw a bunch of bombs as a youngin' in the NFL, that he even set records like the most 400-yard passing games through a player's first 3 seasons ever. But that, fat contracts, and some of the freshest, sometimes craziest outfits aside, I'm just being real that even though he's good sometimes, injuries have been completely ruining his career. So right now, he's just got potential to become a higher level, but he ain't there yet. Josh Allen, however, is almost there, man. This is somebody who I just saw break his nose mid-game, then stay in and keep dominating. All man was known for the longest time was getting smacked by Mahomes year after year after year after year after year, even more, but you get my point. But after finally beating that man by carrying his squad deep into the playoffs, Josh didn't just finally win his first MVP award. He's always leading his squad to wins while being one of the best quarterbacks in the entire world. But I am keeping him at this level for now, as well as, and as much pain as it causes me to say this, my favorite player, Lamar Jackson. Hear me out, because I be wearing Lamar's jerseys damn near daily during the NFL season. But even though each year Lamar is always juking out entire teams, rushing for crazy touchdowns, and elevated his throw game by making perfect throws to his boys, him constantly leading his team to a top record in the league and carrying them into the playoffs with extreme expectations seems like he should be classified as a GOAT, but he's the only player in NFL history to win MVP twice and not make the Super Bowl once. So, until he stops having heartbreaking losses and accomplishes what he needs to, I just can't place him or anybody else in this level as high as these next NFL greats that are a step closer to the GOATs here in level 4. Alright, listen, I know this is football, but I gotta throw a curveball really quick. Cause there's no way you'd expect level 4 to start with a lineman that created one of the craziest stats in not just NFL, but sports history. Just peep this fucking monster, man. Zach Martin. He demolished defenses for 11 seasons and is known as the most disciplined player ever, cuz he's made more Pro Bowl teams in his career with 9 than he has holding penalties called against him with 7. Now that is insane. But stopping people from getting tackled is the complete opposite of this next player. Because Luke Kuechly isn't just arguably the best in history at tackling whoever has the ball. He holds the NFL tackle record with not 1, not even 10 or 15, but 24 in a single game. I don't even know how that shit is possible, man. But when it comes to another level 4 player that Luke played against in that exact game, Drew Brees is easily considered that and one of the best QBs ever. I mean, we're talking about a man who literally survived a whole-ass hurricane that devastated the entire city, then won them a Super Bowl immediately after. Brees also holds crazy records like consecutive games with a touchdown pass when he threw 54 straight.
All he's done is be consistent and be great his whole time in New Orleans, and these records are an example of it.
And not only that, Brees is even second all-time in passing yards, completions, and touchdown passes. But having only one championship ring gets him put next to a slightly better level 4 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Now, as crazy as this man is in the real world, like when he's living in blacked out shacks in the middle of a forest, taking crazy drugs, and saying things like,
I live between two worlds of the extroverted.
His football ability is undeniably great. I mean, from some of the craziest throws I've ever seen to being one of the clutchest players ever, dude's also got 1 championship, 4 MVPs, and is considered the most skilled passer in history by a GOAT.
Aaron in his prime, to me, is the greatest passer of the football the league's ever seen. He could get the ball from point A to B faster and more accurate than any player, I think, in the history of the NFL.
Now, don't just trust Brady, trust Daddy Fieldflix, because my research shows that Rodgers has the record for most Hail Mary touchdowns in NFL history with 4. He went over 400 games without throwing a single interception, and he even has the highest passer rating in history. But listen, those level 4 quarterbacks we just talked about would not be as amazing without some of the greatest players ever to catch some of their balls. Like Marvin Harrison. No, not that one. He's ass. I'm talking about his pops. Marvin Harrison Sr. led the league in receptions and yards multiple times. Dude pulled off insane catches like this. And I swear I watched this man go crazy as Peyton Manning's sidekick for years, where they even won a Super Bowl together. But there is another player known to shut players like that down. And he was so good that he got parts of an NFL stadium named after him. This is Revis Island, and it was the side of the field that Darrelle Revis covered and barely allowed any action to happen. Whether it was shutting down legends like Terrell Owens, clamping a shifty receiver like Ocho Cinco, or locking down Randy Moss and even intercepting Tom Brady, Revis was so good that his stats are actually lower than you'd expect, only because quarterbacks literally feared him and barely threw in his direction. But even that ain't as insane as Walter Payton. This man's one of the NFL's top 100 players ever for a reason, man. He was arguably the fastest running back at the time and was known to run over anyone in his path, so essentially he was today's Derrick Henry mixed with Jahmyr Gibbs. But even though Peyton eventually led his squad to a Super Bowl win, he's just second all time in most of the main rushing categories. So I just couldn't put him in, hold on. Drum roll please. Level 5, aka the greatest players in the history of football. Look, there ain't anybody who ran the ball better than Emmitt Smith. From instantly creating highlight reels, which led to him winning Rookie of the Year, to winning league MVP and dominating in 3 different Super Bowl wins. This Ray Lewis damn near took people's heads off. There's a reason he was the captain of one of the best defenses of all time, constantly shut down potentially big plays, then at the time was only one of 7 defensive players to ever win a Super Bowl MVP. There's a reason this man gets entire stadiums hyped up, so it's clear a beast like him deserves level 5. But let's kick things over to, well, kickers, who also made NFL history. Now, even though you'd think players like Mason Crosby, whose leg game was so crazy it won games, set records, and leads the Packers in all-time points, or Justin Tucker, who was an unreal record-breaking kicker until he did things that damn near put him in jail, were the GOATs at putting balls in the post. But they're nothing compared to Tom Brady's right leg man, Adam Vinatieri. This man is easily the most goated kicker ever, cuz he not only kicked the Super Bowl winning field goal that started the Patriots dynasty, he ended up winning 3 more Super Bowls, became known as one of the most clutch kickers ever, and his third leg helped him kick so many field goals and extra points that he racked up over 2,600 points, which is the most points scored by one player in NFL history. I never thought a kicker was that valuable, man. But to be honest, kickers are kinda boring. So let's switch positions real quick. No diddy. Because when you think of the greatest tight ends of all time, who comes to mind? Don't worry. Take your time. No rush. I'm sure you were maybe thinking about the consistency of Antonio Gates, the power of Rob Gronkowski, or even the longevity of Tony Gonzalez. But even Gonzalez admitted that the best is actually...
Who's the best tight end of all time?
I'm going to go with Kelsey.
Yeah, you heard the man. Kelsey's been goated way before he became Taylor Swift's dad. And just looking at all of Travis Kelce's accolades, man. Kelsey went 7 straight seasons with at least 1,000 yards. He had the most yards in a single season by any tight end. Then on top of that, he has the most receiving yards and touchdowns in Chiefs history. Plus, dude isn't even done yet. But listen, if he for real wanted to be the best catcher of all time, maybe he should have been practicing like Jerry Rice.
I had to catch the bricks. I prided myself on trying to catch everything.
And dude was not kidding. Bricks like these were being thrown at him. There's no wonder why Rice barely dropped any soft balls in the NFL. All that practicing led to him having one of the best individual seasons and career that nobody else has even been able to come close to since. The most receptions ever, the most receiving yards ever, the most touchdowns ever, the list goes so on and on that even old heads glaze him.
I don't think anybody's gonna touch his records. I don't see anybody getting 22,000 yards. That 197 receiving touchdown skip, that ain't happening. It's over.
But obviously, I could not go the whole level without mentioning quarterback goats like Joe Montana, or even someone unreal like Peyton Manning, who had a record 55 touchdowns in one season. Those stats sure are crazy, but they also prove that Patrick Mahomes is damn near already better than Manning in most important categories and on pace to pass him in others. Mahomes has taken over the NFL quicker than any player ever, man. In just 8 seasons, he's made it to the biggest games of the year 5 times and won 3 Super Bowls. That is damn near unheard of, and he's still going crazy every year. So we don't even need to yap about his most ridiculous plays that no other quarterback could make, or how he carries his squad every game. It's obvious and will continue to happen. But something that, in my opinion, will never, ever happen again is the certified GOAT and only player who Mahomes couldn't take down in the playoffs.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
Brady is 2-0 against Mahomes in the playoffs, and he even beat him for his record-setting 7th Super Bowl ring. But if by himself, having more championships than any other entire franchise isn't crazy enough, he didn't just create the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history and appear in more Super Bowls than any player ever with 10. Those 10 Super Bowls came during Brady's 21 years in the NFL, aka 48% of the time, which meant that he had a better chance of making the Super Bowl than Steph Curry does of making a single three-pointer. I mean, this stat doesn't even make any sense, man. But this football god dominated so many opponents that no single team has a winning record against him. He's one of the few players in history that's beaten every single NFL team. And honestly, I could probably make an entire new level dedicated to this man's success, because Brady doesn't just hold almost every passing record, including most yards ever, where the only active players are still at least 25,000 yards behind. This man threw over 50 miles worth of passing yards in his career, which is enough to make it to the top of Mount Everest and back 5 times. I mean, what Brady's done is literally bigger than football. So fuck being a level 5 or the undeniable GOAT. This man's damn near above everybody and everything else, so he's damn near God.